repeated myself, but it's President's Day. A lot of people are off. We had a great day in the city of Pittsburgh. And of course, we have sports to talk about. When isn't there sports? We got Smokin' Jim Frazier here. We have Chip Hayner. And we have some guests that are going to be here today. Love this Sips Bar. You got to come to downtown Dormont. People don't even know where it's at. They used to travel here all the time. Come on down. They have different specials. They got Build-A-Burger. And for the Lent season, they got one of the giant fish sandwiches here. So that's my little infomercial for you guys. What we do is we start with what's on our mind. What's on your mind, Chip?
Thank you, Alan. Good evening, everybody. What's on my mind tonight? Well, you know what? I read a story this morning, and it kind of made me feel good about some of the things that go on in central Pennsylvania. And some of the things that go on in central Pennsylvania have something to do with the Penn State University. And this past weekend, something very positive happened there because there's been so much negative publicity about Penn State and all of the goings on there. But this year, they set a record for this event. It's a fundraiser, and it's called THON, T-H-O-N. And basically what it is the dance-a-thon that they have at the place where they have the basketball team. And the Penn State students and alumni really put themselves in a good light because they collected over $12 million in funds for charity, and the charity that they're collecting for is a charity. I think, I can't remember the name of it, but it's for pediatric cancer. So my hats off to Penn State students, Penn State alumni, and the University of Penn State, because I think that's a very noble cause. And over the last, I believe, 20 or 30 years that they've been doing this, they have collected over $100 million and donated it to this cancer research. So, job well done. Now, what's on my mind in the world of Pittsburgh sports? You know, this morning I wake up and I hear these reports that LaMarr Woodley was grossly out of shape most of last year, and you think about, you know, here's a guy that the Steelers guaranteed $22.5 million, and it's no surprise to any of us or anybody that's played sports when somebody continually has hamstring injuries and groin pulls that you aren't working out the way that you should. And you know, the fact of this is that the Steelers have some problems that they need to be addressed. They need to be addressed from the owners to the coaches to the players policing themselves. You know, the fact that an unnamed teammate would go on record and badmouth LaMarr Woodley, that's part of a problem right there. If you've got something to say about somebody, say it to them. And if you're not man enough, then keep your mouth shut, okay? But that is a problem that is deeper than what goes on the surface there. Because right now the players have no veteran leadership. Nobody's stepping up. You know, we've had a lot of veterans retire lately, and apparently they're the people that kept these young guys in line. And now we've got a whole new crew of young guys that don't know how to act. They're not being shown how to act by their teammates, by the perennial all-pros. You know, we need to see people like James Harrison, Troy Polamalu get a little bit more vocal and be leaders of that defense. And Ben, you're the leader of the offense. You need to start kicking some butt there too, because our wide receivers, they don't have an idea of what to do now that Hines Ward has left them. So, you know, I think it's time that Mr. Rooney take complete control of the team over again. He let Art take the Corvette out, take it for a few rides around the block. And I think Dan needs to get more seriously involved and start teaching people about the way that things need to be done here. That's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Chip. We might have to revisit some of that. You brought up some great points here. But on a little footnote before we get to Smokin' Jim Frazier, they increased the donations at Penn State by $2 million.
Yes, they set a record this year.
Yeah, so that's what that was, and that's pretty impressive.
In the event lasted 46 or 47 hours to bring in that kind of money for a worthy cause, and it's helping fight pediatric cancer, and you can't think of a better cause than helping out children.
I'm aware of that. And now we'll go to Smokin' Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Just wanted to acknowledge a couple people here in the studio audience. My main man, Chief. I tell you what, my favorite boxer of all time, like I said, is Rocky Marciano, and he just laid some stuff on me about The Rock. Also is Miss Robin Clark is here. She's going to be a guest on our show later on. And I tell you what, we do professional and amateur boxing for TV together. And I always say, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better. And Miss Robin is just smart. She's beautiful. And one thing most people may not know about Miss Robin, she got the best tummy I've ever seen. And I tell you what, abs is my favorite body part on a woman. Give Miss Robin a hand.
Paula. Yes.
I miss Bill Cowher. I miss Bill Cowher. I tell you what, Bill Cowher, in my opinion, is one of the top 5 greatest coaches in NFL history. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He coached the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15 years, led them to 2 Super Bowls. He made the team better, he made the players better, and he made the coaches better. What separates Bill Cowher from every other coach who ever coached in the National Football League was the Bill Cowher head coaching tree, which is now up to 8 coaches. For example, Dom Capers, Dick LeBeau, Marvin Lewis, Jim Haslett, Chan Gailey, Ken Wisenhunt, and Mike Mularkey. But his greatest coach was in 2003 when he hired a coach that he trained, developed, offensive guru, and offensive genius named Bruce Arians, who is now the 8th head coach off the Bill Cowher's coaching tree. When it comes to the Hall of Fame, put the chin in.
Thanks, Smoking Jim. Always appreciate it. I didn't quite hear you, though. The volume. Can somebody turn that volume down? I think
Alan, I've said this once, I'll say it again.
Anybody out there?
Smoking Jim's a hard act to follow.
We got on your side. City, you got to come down to Sip Spark. And a couple little footnotes here. We have this Pittsburgh Sports Line on Facebook. We need some more likes out there. We put all our shows up. The more you like us, the more of the shows we put up. We have boxing videos. We have some of the great insights and guests we've had. So like us on Facebook. Another thing is you got to go to Sip Spar's website. Check out the Sip Sports Bar. Let's try to get some business here in downtown Dormont. I remember back in the day, in the 70s, this place was crowded here. Now, you can look up and down the streets, you don't see too many people. So a lot of great food, a lot of great drinks. Look, we got some in the crowd remembering back to little deja vu here. And part of what's on my mind is with sports again, you hear little things about Woodley, you see things with the Penguins. Mine sort of, winning cures almost all of the problems in sports. If the Penguins, when they're losing, all of a sudden you hear the defense isn't playing right, the offense is bad, the power play is bad. Now they win a game up in Buffalo, they look great, played nice defense, they started out early with 2 goals, everybody thinks, okay, that's great, all of a sudden they're down 3-2. They come back, tie it, the Penguins are okay. Steelers, now we hear about Woodley. Okay, why do you hear that? The guy's hurt all the time, 8-8. When they're 12-4, you don't hear that he's out of shape. You don't hear that he's hurt 5-6 games. You hear that everything's okay because they're winning. They made the playoffs. Now the Pirates. You hear all this optimism now. They haven't played a game. Everything's 0-0. We got all this potential. Make some nice signings. You know, Danny Ainge, he's on there. A lot of great things happening there. And then guess what? Chip, you're going to like this. For all us Clint, not haters, but we're worried about his guy. Yep. He just got another 1-year signing in advance on his contract, so he'll be around for another year in 2014.
With the option for 2015.
Exactly. That's why Chip's with the side note here. So my thing is, all you sports fans out there, all you fair weather fans, bandwagoners or whatever, just get a couple wins under your belt and look what happens with the teams. Everything's fine. We we have a boxer that we want on the show. He told us about he was going to win in Indianapolis, so we want to get the report on him. We're going to have Fast Freddie Latham.
Yeah.
Thanks, champ. Have a seat. Get that a little closer there. So what happened on Saturday night? I heard you gave me a little call Sunday morning because I got a text from a guy, the boxing expert, the resident expert. He said Fast Freddie won, Rayco won. I said, well, what did they do? Knock anybody out? He goes, I got a guy up there. I'll get the report. So I fell asleep. I didn't get the report. Fast Freddie's going to tell you what he told me. What happened Saturday night?
Well, Rayco Saunders got a 4th round knockout. Hardest right hand I ever seen him throw in my
Wow.
Hardest right hand I ever seen him throw in my life.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of tough for him the first 3 rounds maybe. And then there come a big shot.
Wow.
And then me, I was
Did you
nervous.
follow him? You followed his fight, right?
Yeah. I was after Rayco. I was nervous. I thought I was outmatched. I knew I had to bring back a knockout.
This outmatch thing. Tell us about. You were supposed to go a guy. I think 1-1 was his record, or something like that, with maybe 6 or 8 fights, or somewhere around. What happened? I heard you had a couple cancellations. And
yeah, he wound up canceling. So I fought a boy named Hutt. His last name is Hutt, Marvis Hutt.
Wow.
And he had 42 fights.
Whoa.
So I thought he had me outmatched. He had a couple knockouts. He didn't have the best record, but the experience. He'd been in the game 35 years. So I thought he had more to offer than he did. So I was nervous.
well, sure. This was only your 2nd fight, right? And how old are you? This guy was like 40, and you were what?
22.
Okay, that makes a difference.
So Freddie, after going into a fight and having those self-doubts, does that kind of, give you more confidence going into your next venture? Because, sometimes what we as people will do is we'll make things tougher than they have to be in our own minds, and then you find out that, wow, maybe I sold myself a little bit short. Does this help you with your confidence?
It's definitely a big confidence booster. Thinking that I'm outmatched, thinking I may lose or anything. I had people in my corner telling me that he's more experienced, but I was like, we're gonna take the fight. We didn't come to Indianapolis to not fight. And they had my back. They said, well, if you're gonna take it, we know we're gonna win. And that's what we did.
Yeah, see, the hardest thing when you talk about Fast Freddie is nobody wants to fight this guy. This guy is fast on his feet. He don't look it, but he carries 220 pounds, probably the fastest heavyweight since Muhammad Ali, and he got great power. So a lot of guys is going to catch the flu on fight night. So, and that's what ended up happening, man. Yeah, man. They gonna get sick. So they threw a guy in there with a lot of experience, a guy that should have been able to handle somebody that was only in the 2nd pro fight, but he got dynamite in both hands, 2-0 with 2 knockouts.
Well, how'd this first round go when you were nervous? How'd you get rid of those butterflies? Did he hit you and stagger you, or did he do anything like that? Or
Well, in the first round, I was just confident in my jab. Threw more jabs than I normally do. My speed was outstanding, and I think that's the fastest I ever fought. My hands ever moved ever. So
you stepped up your game.
yeah, I think I pretty much hurt him with a jab. If I had pressed him a little bit more, I think I could have stopped him in the first round. I knocked him down in the first round. We only had like 10 seconds left, so by the time he got up, the round was over.
And see, that wasn't. There's not a fighter in this country. There's a few in Russia that he may have to go visit sooner or later, but there ain't a fighter in this country that I'm worried about against Freddie. What I was worried about, and I'm happy to see that you're back, you were in Indiana, and I know that the women love you, and the last great fighter that went to Indiana didn't come home, Mike Tyson.
Well, and who was your escort there? Tell everybody who your escort
I
was.
have my dad and my manager there.
Thanks for being honest.
Welcome home. I'm glad it wasn't the Miss Black America pageant going on that weekend.
You're bringing some history. I don't think Fast Freddy even knows that story. You can tell him that off the air here. Keep him out of
So
trouble.
Freddie, how many rounds was this fight scheduled for? Obviously it didn't go the distance.
It was scheduled for 4.
Okay.
I felt like I could have did 12, 15 if need be.
Wow.
12 or 15. You're old school on us.
I feel like I was in the best shape of my life when I went down there, so I knew I could count on my work ethics and help me pull through the fight.
Nice. Well, how many knockdowns did you have in the fight? Do you
I
know?
had 4 in the fight.
4 knockdowns.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. You'd only have to knock me down once where I'd have enough sense not to get back up.
Did he even hurt you at all when he hit you? Did you
Nah, he probably landed 2 clean hits
the whole fight?
the whole fight. I
All
mean,
2
he
rounds.
got a couple glove punches and a couple arm punches. My jab was my best defense in that fight.
Good to hear that. You're getting the experience, and he's expanding his repertoire. So we can't beat that. What's on the plan now? Because you had told us on our last show, 10 fights by your birthday, and your birthday is
August 16th.
August 16th. All right. So now when's the next one coming?
I got 6 weeks to get ready for the next one up. It's going to be up in Indiana again.
Be careful, Freddie.
And then
And then what? I heard you have another one right after that.
I'm trying to get ready for the Raw Soca show in
See that? He's
April.
trying to be at the Sulka show.
So
Where's Rod's next fight going to be? Is that going to be here in Pittsburgh?
yeah, it's going to be in Elizabeth, PA.
Okay.
Yeah,
Same place he had his last one?
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to have him on here because we're
Well,
going to
we're gonna have to make a
with
trip
the boxing
down there.
season right now with the amateurs and everything and the pros like yourself. You guys are showing a lot what Pittsburgh has here, that Pittsburgh heart.
Yeah.
No doubt. We're proud of you and we're glad to have you on the show. Anything else you want to say, or you want to say anything to anybody here?
What I'm trying to do. I talked to Layman Brewster.
Ooh.
He actually one of my fans. He was at the fight. I'm glad I was able to show him what I'm capable of. So he said he's going to get back with us. He's going to come down Pittsburgh and work with us. Hopefully, I have him work with a couple of the amateurs down here, just to get a couple people seen. Because we got talent in Pittsburgh. We just ain't using it. Everybody want to use guns and street fight and hang out with their friends when they should be in the gym or
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree with you more.
anything.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. That's good perception.
Boxing's my world, but it ain't everybody else's world. But we got a million sports that anybody can play.
Sure.
And somebody told me that LeBron James is a personal friend of yours now, and he's the one that sent you those nice earrings.
I didn't even notice that.
I wish LeBron James was my friend. I'd have made him a fan. I would have made him a fan too.
All right, Fred.
Fair enough.
Yeah. My biggest supporters in my career is my mom and dad, of course, brothers and sisters, fans, and you guys.
We're fans.
Oh,
know
you
that.
got us hooked.
Definitely. We're going to keep following you. You got to keep updating us. You're welcome back anytime after a win.
Boy, you're welcome
Just
back
saying that.
anytime. You don't have to
Whoa,
win.
did I say that on air?
You're gonna win.
Wait a
You're
second.
gonna win, but you can welcome back
I didn't know
anytime.
that
Let me
slip.
just
Whoa,
correct that.
Whoa, you're in shape. Hold it now. You seem a little bigger than the last time when I saw you. What happened here?
Well,
He's bigger now.
I took
shoulders.
I took Sunday off,
Okay.
and I'm right back to the gym.
Okay.
I don't got time to wait around, take weeks off, or I'm right back to the gym
What
running.
gym? What gym you training?
I'm training up in Boyce right now.
Okay. With Chet?
No, I'm with Derek Gianna, and my dad does my strength training. Rego War helps me out with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, then you can't eat any of these fries with us. If you're with Rayco, you're not eating any of this stuff. That's poison. He'll tell you.
yeah,
That's one of the healthiest eating guys that I ever met in the shape Rayco's in.
Rayco's a vegetarian.
Exactly. Imagine a boxer who's a vegetarian knocking people out.
I don't think I can live without my meat. I gotta have meat. even if I decide to come down to cruiserweight, I'ma eat. So
You think you might fight at cruiserweight?
I was thinking about it. There's a couple people that didn't really like me too much down in Indianapolis. Other fighters. So I figure I may call them out at catchweight. A
What
fighter.
do you have to get down to then?
Probably 210, 205.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a few enemies up here, I guess.
I didn't know that. A nice guy like you, how could that even happen?
Because of our amateur career.
Oh, okay. How many amateur fights did you have? I forget.
I had 56.
Okay,
Wow.
that's why.
It's a lot of fights,
And
man.
then, well, everybody know that I beat Eddie twice, and he beat me the last one.
Eddie Latham, yeah.
Eddie Lattimore.
Lattimore, yeah.
And he been coming after me. I think he's coming after me.
He's in LA now, right?
We go out there and spar with him. I helped to actually spar with him to get him ready for his last pro show. He won. And he put a video up on Facebook and on YouTube. But it was only the parts that he was like aggression when I was laid back on the ropes and let him punch.
What?
So
Okay.
it made it look like he was getting off on me in the spar. That can't happen.
Wow.
So
People want to see that fight. That could sell out. That could sell out.
I tell him I'll fight him anytime.
Wow.
It don't matter.
Anytime,
See, you know,
any
now that
place.
you're showing some signs of success, people are going to try tearing you down.
It's going to be a Thriller of Manila when I catch
There
it.
you go. I love it. I love it. I absolutely.
We
That's awesome.
Sounds like a plan.
we all know he's not as cute as me. I have to beat him bad.
You gotta start
Isn't that what wasn't it what Muhammad Ali used to say all the time? But I'm so pretty.
I'm gonna have to get him. I'm gonna have to get him sooner or later. Hopefully, it's a little later in my career than sooner. I mean, when I come to fight him, I'm coming to win. So, and I don't want to destroy nobody's career when they first start. I don't want
You're
to.
a gentleman.
But if I have to, I will.
I love it.
Great job, Freddie.
Well, that's some good stuff.
I try to tell him I never had a problem with Eddie. I always thought he was a good fighter, heck of a puncher. But I don't think he got the skills and the speed to beat me.
You're in the hurt business. You're in the hurt business.
There you go.
That's it.
As long as I'm in shape and I'm ready to go, that's all they need to know.
Well, we believe in you. Hey, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you take care.
Freddie, congratulations. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, fans,
All right.
We have another guest that we're going to bring on the show. We're shooting the breeze, so we're going to bring on Robin Allen Clark.
Woo!
Too fine.
Good evening, Robin. How are you?
Welcome to the show, Robin.
Thank you.
Always a
Thank you
pleasure.
for having me.
Always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And if people don't know, I know Smoking Jim threw out some compliments earlier, but I met her over a year ago because she's a boxing ring announcer, and she did a great job. She also helped Smoking Jim on a lot of the boxing events that are out there, and they've been doing this for a while, so she has a lot of experience in the sports world. What's going on with boxing? Do you have anything coming up?
Oh my goodness. I don't have to wait for Jim, but did anybody see the fight last night? With Bruner and Reeves?
Yes. Yes.
No, I missed it.
Yeah.
What
Whoa.
an ego.
Yeah, yeah.
They asked him, "What's your best shot?" He said, "Right here, just take a picture."
See, she knows boxing.
He said, "I knew he was going down. Rockabye, baby."
But you missed it about not to cut in, but he's so arrogant, and most fighters from Cincinnati are that way. Aaron Pryor was the same way, but one time about 4 or 5 months ago, he's fighting, knocked a guy out. He got tremendous power, and he brings his beautiful girlfriend in the ring. So he says, "Stop everything." He gets down on one knee. He grabs her hand and says, "Will you brush my hair?" She was so embarrassed, and she started brushing his hair. So he's an arrogant guy. He says, "No, I'm too young to get married," you know.
Wow.
So that was an embarrassing thing.
See, these two just get along so well with boxing. Look at them. I'm just going to take a break and let them talk boxing now.
Well, no, here's the thing. You know, Jim is so good for my ego. You know, they say, here's what I've learned, and I even teach my kids this. You know, you have to be careful who you hang around. You know, I say, well, you might not be smoking, but if you keep hanging around, you'll smell like a cigarette. And so, you know,
I'll tell you what,
and,
Lord.
you know, they stink. You know, they do stink. You know, and so I'm very careful who I hang around, and I keep a balance. We're talking about Rayco War Sanders being a vegetarian.
Sure.
But they have some things that taste like meat because I have a teacher who's a vegetarian.
Oh, yeah?
And there's some things that you can actually make out of vegetables that literally taste like meat. But there's the balance. The key is to have a balance. And, you know, you guys give me a balance because that includes my sports life, you know, a little bit of fun on the side, you know, be it there's school, there's work, there's parenting. So, you know, you got to keep a balance on your plate. And last week, was that last week? I was supposed to be on the show. My plate was too full.
We won't talk about it.
But really, just to say that I'm grateful to have good people in my life, a good balance. I have good men and good women. But Jim, a lot of people don't know, Jim is all around, all American sports, Steel City sports world. He has a financial background. He works with computers. He has sales skills. He has the Golden Quill Award. Jim also is the NBA talent scout. And I know for a fact that there isn't anybody in this world that can pick out talent like Smoking Jim Frazier. Jim has picked out talent that nobody ever even discovered or knew. Who is this guy? And he discovers these people, and this is how he becomes who he is today and where he's going. I always say he's going places. He's a great person. He's good for people. He's good for the community. He does community work. He gives his time to places like Champion Enterprises. So he's not just puffed up and big-headed about who he is. And I don't know. Did you get your website yet?
Oh, thank you, Miss Robin.
Did you get your website?
No.
Because he was supposed to get a website.
We'll work on that with him. Don't worry.
He has so much that a lot of people don't know about. And Al is a community person, and he's the director of the community relations of building bridges.
Wow.
Also,
where'd you find out about this?
Oh, he's on LinkedIn. Wow. You have to Google Al, and I had the wrong person, so make sure it's Levine.
Tell us all about the person that you thought was Al. Tell us about the person you thought was Al.
No, here's how simple it is. Levines have the furniture. The Levines have the money. And the Levines are looking for the green. Okay? That's how simple it is. Enough talk about me.
No.
We're trying to talk about you. All we're doing is trying to help people. I do a lot of fundraising. They hear that all the time. So thank you for your compliments.
Oh, yeah. And the Hug-a-thon. And what did you do with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette?
I don't recall, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a long career.
And then you got the award for Bethel Park for the
Don't say Producer of the Year award. now.
Yes.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Far be it from you to toot your own horn. Toot, toot.
All you got to do is start talking. I told her not to say that.
All right, Alan.
She's welcome to the
And
show.
he didn't even
Enough
put
about
everything.
me.
He didn't
Enough
put everything
about
on LinkedIn. He said, "Oh, I couldn't. It was just too much stuff. I couldn't get everything on."
The experts told me mine was wrong. There's too much stuff. And thank you. You forgot about one of our
But good
favorite
people, and
guys.
I didn't forget.
You forgot about Chip down
I
there.
didn't forget
Just
about
ask him.
Chip. Chip is an all-American natural. Honestly, he's a mama's boy. And, you know, he is, and that counts. because
Proudly.
he's mannerable, good
Proudly.
scruples, and he does what's right. And one thing about Chip is a truthful person. He said, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask. He talks about his blessings, and Chip got started through Mike Migliore.
Yeah,
Hi,
that's
Mike.
correct.
Love you. But he's an all-around natural. I would have never known that he wasn't someone that's been doing this for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And,
Well, Mike also introduced me to Smoking Jim
did
and
he?
you, and we wouldn't be here because of him, but he's no longer with us. He's still alive, but he's no longer with us on the show. And those things happen in life,
yeah.
so we wish him the best.
Good history, though.
Hold it, what about you? We brought you on.
Me, I'm here getting my balance with my good friends. I'm still in school.
When you going to graduate? I've been hearing for a year you're in
Yeah,
school.
well, here's the deal. Because I work during the day, so I can only go to school during the evening. And
Well, look at that ring.
And I had to
goodness,
do the
that's pretty.
balance, my bling bling. But I should
point
be.
that out.
I'm about nine credits away from certification, so I should be certified by next.
Certified for what?
Certified to teach.
Okay,
Wow.
great, congratulations.
by next
What will you be teaching?
yeah, elementary education.
And I'll tell you what, that's the best way to go as far as my mother, before she quit working, she was a school teacher and she taught first and second graders, and that's where the children get, they develop what they're going to become as they're going, and that's right then they're just sponges for knowledge. They haven't developed the attitudes and all. So that's a very noble.
When can we teach the politicians how to blow up Clareton and start all over again?
There goes all that goodwill.
Oh, come on now.
Is that the balance you're talking about?
The
All that
state-
good?
That is
I
it.
brought a little.
But you know what? That's what makes.
Is that the
Jim
four-time state
Smoking
champion?
Jim, because he's real calm and he smokes his way in there and blows it. blows everything
Is that the four-time state champs?
blows everything up. But you know what? Let me say something good, because I did say I had something good to say about Clareton City School District. Remember when we spoke of the statistics of the children they determined that by third grade reading level, if they don't pass, that's how they build their jail cells. Remember that?
Right. I remember you brought that
Clareton City School District has one of the best reading programs. They had that Waterford reading program. Listen, I pulled my son from a private school when he was in kindergarten and put him in Clareton. And he accelerated in reading. Even to this day, he's actually in advanced reading. So,
Smoking Jim.
and the teachers do care, because it's one thing when you're looking at the stats and say, I want to be a teacher because they make big figures and they get the whole summer off. They literally do care.
And it's still preschool and kindergarten all the way through 12th grade all in one building, right?
Well, that's not too good, and I must agree with you on that.
Well, how many students even go there?
But listen, I was secretary K through 6, just me. Kindergarten through 6th grade, we're looking at about 650 kids on top of about 65 staff and one secretary. That was too much for my plate. Not quite enough balance.
If
But,
I taught in Clareton, I'd have to bring the paddling back.
Remember that. There we go.
and prayer. Let's not leave the prayer out.
Maybe get Ray come down and give them all blessing.
It sounds like Clareton's doing a lot better since you were last on the show last year, I think. Is that true?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say. I just, all I can tell you is what I know about the reading programs and the teachers themselves. But where their things are going right now, not my call.
Okay. Well, we understand that. So what else are you doing? I heard the last time we met you were doing some super workout and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
How did
You know
that
what?
work out?
The insanity workout. That's why Jim was talking about my abs. I didn't shoot him a picture. I didn't shoot him a picture of my abs.
Folks, we cover all subjects here. And like I've told you guys before, you must go to a boxing match with Smokin' Jim Frazier. He has some of the most beautiful women that are with him helping to announce his fights. And you can see and hear the fights. I'll do another plug. You know, Chip, how I am. On BPTV, we got the Rod Salka fight. It's up on the air. It's already been on a few times. You can see it on BPTV. It's Verizon all throughout the area. Comcast 7 in Bethel Park. And normally it's on 32 on Verizon. If you don't see it there, go to Pittsburgh Sportsline on Facebook. Like us, like I said previously. And I know I said like twice. I don't know how that worked out, but try to do that. And you'll see more of these great shows. You'll hear great interviews like Robin Allen Clark here, Fast Freddie, Latham, the next heavyweight champion of the world.
And he is.
Go, Freddie.
You can check those type of things out.
And everybody tune in to see Lightning Rod Salka, the only athlete in the history of Elizabeth, PA.
Whoa, I don't know about the only, but he's a champion out of Elizabeth.
Yeah, he's a world champion, and that's nothing to be taken lightly.
And you must hear the call. It's one of the greatest calls in sports, let alone boxing history in Pittsburgh. And this gentleman next to me, Smokin' Jim Frazier, you must listen to the call. It's a knockout with 33 seconds in the 5th round, and it's one heck of a call. He was even starting to call it at the end of the 4th round. So he's starting to become like a prophet, like Chip the Prophet Hader. So we got a lot of that.
He's gifted.
He is gifted in certain ways.
For sure.
And Robin, we appreciate you being on the show.
Before she goes,
Whoa, who said she was going? We might leave her on.
Speaking of gifts, everybody always says that Robin Givens got the best legs in the world. I think that Robin Clark got it beat.
All right.
And on that happy note, we'll let her walk off the set here. Devin, don't be filming all of this. It's a family show here. Robin, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Good job, Miss
Love
Robin.
you.
Love you too.
Love you, Chip.
Oh, thank you very much, Robin. Thanks for your kind words. Last Monday night, we were talking about the Penguins after they lost 2 games to the New Jersey Devils, and since then, the Penguins have won 3 games in a row. And most impressive thing about that statistic is that in each of their last 2 games, they scored 2 goals in the 3rd period to put the win away. And that's what you want to really see. They're playing good, sound team hockey, solid defense. The goaltenders are stopping the pucks, and they're getting goal support from everybody on the team. Now, here's one thing that last Tuesday night's game played the Ottawa Senators, and unfortunately Matt Cook severely injured a member of the Ottawa Senators. And Matt Cook has had a number of problems over the last number of seasons, been suspended 4 or 5 times for questionable hits, I'll call them, because he's a Penguin, but what other people would say was dirty hits, and he was a headhunter. And I think that he got unjustly accused of something illegal when, after the game, Brendan Shanahan, who's the disciplinarian for the NHL, said, we're not going to do anything to him. It was a freak accident, but I mean, he cut through 70% of this gentleman's Achilles tendon with his skate.
Their best player.
that's horrible that it happened. And if you see the replays of it, you know, it was an accident. But because of his reputation, he's being vilified. And the people in Canada are even saying that he shouldn't even be allowed to play hockey. He should be playing in a garage league or something like that. And I think that's kind of unjust. But that's been the big hubbub about you know, the Penguins' recent streak.
Now, they are playing a lot better, and I think splitting the goaltender duties, that's helped a lot already early in the season. And then, Chip, I think they're starting to get into shape, where they weren't in the season shape when they started, because it did sort of spring up on them.
Yeah,
and now I think they're starting to get...
And what you're seeing is the timing's getting better. You know, if you saw the the goal that won the game yesterday, 4-3, how Letang put that pass right on... what's his name, stick, and I mean, the puck was just, it was right there. I mean,
they do throw a few.
Paul Martin, it was on Paul Martin's stick. But yeah, their timing's getting better. They're getting in better condition. And I tell you what, before the season started, a lot of people were saying the Penguins and Vancouver Canucks and the playing for the Cup, and that they figured that the Penguins are going to be playing the Rangers for the Eastern Division crown. And I'm telling you what, I think the team that the Penguins are going to end up playing in the Eastern Finals is going to be the New Jersey Devils. And let's not forget, New Jersey Devils made it to the finals last year. And they've got Martin Brodeur as their backstop. And I know Martin Brodeur is 40 years old. He's the greatest goalie that's ever played the game. You know, he leads every statistical category ever for goaltenders. As long as that man is playing on that team's going to be good. And the Devils play a type of defense that the Penguins have a lot of difficulty with. They play that trapping system. And look what they did the two games last weekend, and you know, that's going to be our competition in the Eastern. You know, the Flyers. I don't think we're going to hear much from them, and I think the Rangers are just overhyped.
Right. Well, we'll find out as they go, and we've all said on the panel. I think even Smoke and Jim said that Penguins are going to the Stanley Cup. You still there with us?
I'm still with you.
Okay, just checking there. We are in first place right now.
But here is the more impressive statistic about what's going on in the NHL right now. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks. They have played 15 games. Their record is 12-0-3. Okay, they have not lost a game in regulation this year.
Wow.
That's a pretty impressive statistic. And right now, the haves and have-nots, they're starting to separate themselves. I know there's some divisions where there's like maybe 5 or 6 points separating the bottom team and the top team. There's some of the divisions, they're starting to get some separation. You know, it's the Penguins and the Devils in our division, but the Blackhawks are strong, the Canucks are strong. You know, there's some teams that are really doing some amazing things.
Well, I'm wondering that some of these goaltenders, they're playing like 90% of the games. I think that's going to wear them down because you don't have much time for a break. One day sometimes, back-to-back games. So we may see a difference.
Well, they're playing 3 to 4 games a week, and we saw what happened with the Penguins when they tried to ride Marc-Andre Fleury last spring. You know, we counted on him. He got us to the playoffs, and he just didn't have any gas left in the tank.
That's true. Is we're going to do some Bucko baseball talk. We have to talk the Pirates here. They have a lot of great things happening in camp. We heard last week 31 Pirate pitchers, and we'll go right to Chip Hayner, the resident Bucko guy.
Thank you very much, Alan, and I am so excited about Pirate baseball this year. I cannot wait till April 1st. You know, that's because it's my favorite day of the year, but that's all Fool's Day, and I fit that bill perfectly. But no, that's the day when the Pirates have their home opener this year. But, you know, the Pirates are working hard. You know, they've got 31 pitchers in spring training, and one of the things that they're working on with every single pitcher in the organization, from the minor leagues all the way up to the majors, is they're working on their ability to hold runners on base. Last year, the Pirates had 154 stolen bases. They only threw out 11% of the runners that were trying to steal against them. Now, Rod Barajas was, I believe he was leading with a whopping 6% of runners that tried to attempt to steal on him. And the Fort McHenry was up near 18%, so that wasn't nearly as bad. So, Barajas is gone, and we brought in somebody that's historically been much better at doing that. So, this is one of the problems from last year that they were working to correct. Other problem, hitting coach. They've got a better hitting coach in there now. They've got rid of Greg Sands. He's somewhere at some high college as a coach, but he had to take that job or he's going to get canned. Pirates also made a pretty interesting pickup of a veteran utility man, signed him to a minor league contract. His name's Brandon Ing. He played for the Detroit Tigers for about the last 6 or 7 years, and last year he got traded from the Tigers to the Oakland A's. So here's a guy that's been on teams that have gone to the playoffs, made it to the World Series. He's a veteran fill-in for what? Because Pedro Alvarez is not going to play 162 games. It gives you some veteran leadership, but having somebody on the bench that's been in the major leagues a long year and knows his roles can be nothing but a mentor for the fielders, the same way that A.J. Burnett has become a mentor to the pitchers. These are guys that are major league players, have played on winning teams, knows what it takes to get there, and they can lead by example. And this is something that is going to help the Pirates out tremendously. So.
Well, everybody knows I'm a professional gambler. Las Vegas came out with over and under for the Pirates 79 games. What do you guys think?
Oh.
You may win another $1.
No, I'm taking the over without even blinking. No hesitation at all.
I have no problem. I'll go
make that bet. Y'all gonna make that
we'll
bet?
Take that bet.
We'll take that bet. But the Pirates.
I'm hopeful that I don't win this year.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. The Pirates are taking the steps they need. They're making moves that make sense financially, and as well as for building the team. I think we're right on the cusp of some really exciting things happening in Pittsburgh. We've got plenty of talent in our minor league system. We've got plenty of young talent at the major league level. We've got a core group of young men that I still feel that the Pirates really need to tie up Neil Walker and sign him to a long-term contract. I think he's the heart and soul of the infield.
Well, question on that. How is Walker's back? I haven't heard anything, because that was one of the problems at the end of the year. Is he healthy again?
He is healthy. He's been working very hard and diligently.
Surgery. They told him not to have surgery, that time would help.
They say he's back to being 100%.
Okay. I didn't hear anything.
And they don't foresee a continuing problem, but I think that's one of those kind of injuries. There's a certain set of exercises he's going to have to do to keep those muscles strong back there to keep that from happening again. But there are no guarantees. But there's just a lot of things to be excited about with the Pirates this year, and we're looking forward to just spending 6 months enjoying good baseball.
Right, and then with Hurdle being back, there could be his job might be in jeopardy if he doesn't win this year. I mean, think about it. He's actually improved the team from where they were. But now you do got to get past that record. I mean, seriously, I kid about it. I am a Pirate fan. This goes out to Mike Vint. I am, a true Pirate fan. Well, I'm disgruntled, as you know.
But to speak to some of those points, bringing Clint Hurdle back and then giving him the extension, okay, that gives him the players something to look forward. There's a little bit of stability there, and yeah, Clint Hurdle's job should be on the line. But let's everybody wanted to blow up the team last year because they had more success than in any season in the last 20 years. But 3 years ago the Pirates were the worst team in baseball, bar none. Okay, why do you think we ended up with Jared Cole? Not because we were successful. Okay, so you see with the progression of the team over the last 2 seasons, you've seen a gradual progression, and now you're seeing fruit starting to bear off the vines of their minor leagues, and it's starting to make it to the major league level. I expect to see a continued progress this year, and if it doesn't, well, then it's time to look at what Clint Hurdle's doing, because right now they've amassed the talent, and right now they're on the verge of doing something. And yes, expectations should be high this year, for the owners of the team, for the managers, for the players, and yes, for us as the fans. We definitely
even the general manager and any of the office service people and even scouts, they may have to change some of that because this is a make or break year. I feel that way, and I'm for the Pirates. I hope they do win. I hope I lose $1 or $2 when we make that bet at the beginning of the season.
But and the one problem that just gets me, like we've got so many people that are so sour over the last 20 seasons of Pirate baseball, and I'm not proud of it. It's not one of the shining moments of the franchise, but there are so many people that just want to sit there and grind that axe and be bitter about all of the mistakes that were made for the last 20 years that they're not going to allow themselves to enjoy what's going to happen as the season breaks out. I mean, the Pirates are giving us what we want. There's a major league team playing in PNC Park. There's actually 2 of them playing in there. It used to be we'd go and see one, but you get what you paid for. There's no guarantees that there's going to be a winner, but they put a major league product on the field, and you are getting what you pay for. And I think these people that just want to knock them down aren't going to appreciate what's happening, and live in the moment.
There's a couple things that sort of stir that up. When they win all these games early and then they lose at the end. So I've heard a couple shows where they say, what if they didn't start winning right away? And then they were able to win at the end of the year. Well, I'd rather them win early, at least be in first place or whatever. And then if coaching or other players or injuries don't determine it, then fine.
Well, we've got.
I'd rather they start out well.
You've got some people that won't say anything bad about the Pirates until the starting pitcher on opening day throws ball 1, and then they'll start and they won't stop. But you know what? If we all just enjoy what we've got going on right now and watch it progress, I think you're going to really be satisfied with what you see. And we can't change what's happened over the last 20 years. It's yesterday's news. I'm looking for today and moving forward.
I heard one of the VPs for the Guinness Book of World Records just built a house over in the North Shore.
What, 21 years in a row it'll be? Smoking Jim, you're on fire. We better change gears with the baseball.
No, I thought the Pittsburgh taxpayers did that 12 years ago. No, but you know what? We got a lot to be proud of, a lot to be excited for, and find a way to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not really football season, but Smoking Jim, you're a resident NFL scout. I know you've mentioned some players the last couple weeks. Are you finding any other little nuggets out there of young players and schools that we don't know about?
Well, I tell you what, I'm real high on a young man, middle linebacker, that's probably going to go undrafted, probably be available in the 6th or 7th round. Wouldn't be surprised if he's the next Ray Lewis. 240 pounds, can run, natural-born leader, plays in D.C. at a college called Howard University. His last name is Pugh. I'm not sure if he got invited to the combines, probably not, but that's a name. If you're looking for a middle linebacker and you're looking for a leader at middle linebacker, that's a guy that you may want to consider in the 6th or 7th round. I guarantee you he'll be a star in the National Football League.
Hey, here's a question I got for you regarding the combine. And, they said when Mark Sanchez came out of USC that he wasn't really a starting NFL quarterback, but he left early. His head coach told him not to. Now I think, we've got a kid that stayed at USC and finished out his full career. His name's Matt Barkley. And he was projected at being, possibly a first-round draft pick and didn't have the senior season that, you would expect him to see. Do you think he would be the answer to somebody's quarterback problem, in the 1st or 2nd round this year?
Well, he's a system guy. Barkley's smart guy. Right now they got shoulder problems, so see how that heals. I think it'll heal up good. But from the neck up, he's an outstanding quarterback. I think he got to go to the right system. You can't put him in a pistol. You can't put him in a wildcat. But if you put him in a more traditional offense, he's not tall. That's the one thing. He's only about 6'1". For years, everybody thought he was 6'4", 6'4.5", but he's only 6'1".
How did he lose 3 inches?
But I tell you, I tell you, an ideal situation for him would be, and the Minnesota Vikings made a poor choice when they took Ponder from Florida State. I think that Matt Barkley would fit well in the Minnesota Vikings system. Plus, I like Minnesota Vikings, the last name of their head coach.
Okay, well, here, you know, I love it. But okay, what would you think? How would you think he would fit in under Bruce Arians' system in Arizona?
The genius! Bruce Arians can make any quarterback good. Don't forget, Bruce Arians is the only coach in NFL history that took the Cleveland Browns, the new Cleveland Browns, to the playoffs. Bruce Arians is a genius. He's going to rip the NFL apart. Don't matter who the quarterback is, he'll make him great.
Wow. There you've heard it again, folks. I don't know. I still can't hear.
That would have been the same Cleveland Browns that lost to the Steelers for the third time that year in the playoffs to Tommy Gun Maddox. Yeah. Just checking.
Smoking Jim gets a little excited here. That's why we like hearing his insights on the show here. Hey, Smoking Jim, I got a basketball question for you. NBA, yay or nay?
As far as here in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, that's a rumor.
Yay, fire Jamie Dixon for Pitt. But you know, the NBA will never make it here in Pittsburgh, although there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of tradition. Right up the street here in Bethel Park was one of the all-time NBA greats, the late great Hammer, Armand Gilliam. Some great basketball talent. Don't forget, the round ball game was played here in the city of Pittsburgh and used to sell out. University of Pittsburgh sells out, but for some reason, I don't think professional basketball would ever make it here, unfortunately.
Well, you know, this is what my thoughts are about it. And I'm a lifelong Pittsburgher, and I know that professional basketball has never really drawn well here. But I think what you're looking at is it being a problem is, can the fan base of Pittsburgh support an NBA team? I mean, you think about the dollars that the fans here have to spend, and is there enough corporate sponsorship, you know, to buy those NBA tickets? You know, they're going $150 and up, you know, for a ticket. You know, so I mean, it's you know, will our economy be able to support that kind of a thing? And I think we're pretty much maxed out on professional sports teams right now, to be honest.
I didn't even know that. I have a media pass, so I get in all sporting events free.
Do you get to eat up there? Any good food? Steak. Well, there you got an expert here on basketball, football, and it doesn't look like the NBA will be here. I have some experience with basketball. My dad actually refereed some scrimmages with the Condors and the Pipers.
Was he in the movie The Fish That Saves Pittsburgh? Was that your dad in there?
He wasn't in
And even
movie.
though Dr. J was on that team, they didn't put any fannies in the seats.
Right. That's part of my point. We went down to the Civic Arena to watch quite a few of those games, and I could sit front row.
Wow.
So it was nice. Yeah, but it was a little bit quiet there. You can hear. Here's what you can hear.
And the squeaking of the tennis
That was on the
shoes.
floor.
The squeaking of their
Those
Chuck
are
Taylors.
Some of the things that you hear. We're going to be wrapping up the show here, and we thank Sip Sports Bar for having us here. We think you should like their, website, Facebook page. Check out Sip Sports Bar. They have a lot of specials here. Great food. We love the fries. Meatball hoagies are great. Food's wonderful here. Great atmosphere for sports. We've posted up a lot of things on our Pittsburgh Sports Line, Facebook page. You can see the great pictures of Sports Illustrated. We put that up today. We have a lot of video going up there. So like us on Facebook, Pittsburgh Sports Line. You'll see some great hosts and co-hosts. You got Chip Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And we'll see you next week.